Good evening, my friends. This is Santa Claus with you on this October 27th, 2025, bringing you today's stories on a day that marks the anniversary of Constantine the Great's vision at the Milvian Bridge. How fitting that on a day when we remember such a transformative moment in history, we too look at changes unfolding across our world. I'm afraid my heart is heavy seeing the news about trade tensions between dear neighbors. President Trump has announced a 10% tariff increase on Canadian goods in response to an Ontario advertisement featuring President Reagan's words on free trade. Oh my, how I wish we could remember that our neighbors are our friends, not our adversaries. Treasury Secretary Besant called it propaganda. But perhaps we all might benefit from a warm cup of cocoa and a gentle conversation about how we can work together for the good of all people on both sides of that beautiful border. Meanwhile, across the globe, there seems to be movement on U.S.-China trade relations. President Trump has indicated feeling good about potential agreements with China, with negotiations aiming to ease tensions through compromises on both sides. While these initial steps are promising like fresh snowfall, deeper issues remain unresolved, much like when children agree to share toys but haven't quite learned the spirit of true giving. Turning our gaze to Argentina, President Milei has received a wonderful gift, a resounding victory in midterm elections that gives his party new momentum for economic reforms. After weathering difficult challenges, including corruption scandals and economic struggles, this second chance is precious indeed. Let us hope he uses it wisely to help those who are suffering most under economic hardship. And what brings warmth to my old heart, Kurdish PKK militants have announced their withdrawal from Turkey as part of a disarmament process. After 4 decades of conflict that has claimed over 40,000 lives, this move toward peace is like finding a beautiful present under the Christmas tree. The PKK has even burned weapons as a gesture of goodwill. Oh, how wonderful when former enemies lay down their arms and seek the path of brotherhood. Sadly, not all news brings such joy. In Sudan, paramilitary forces have pushed into the army's last stronghold in Darfur, with dozens of innocent civilians losing their lives. The fighting in El Fasher has trapped hundreds of thousands of people in terrible conditions. My heart aches for these children and families caught in conflict that has raged since April 2023. They need our prayers and support, dear friend. In Cameroon, protests have erupted after 92-year-old President Biya was declared the winner of another term that could keep him in power until he's nearly 100. The violence has already claimed at least 4 lives. Oh, how I wish leaders everywhere would remember that true leadership is service, not power. A lesson we all should carry in our hearts. Jamaica is bracing for Hurricane Melissa, potentially the strongest hurricane ever to hit the island. The government has ordered evacuations in parts of Kingston as this Category 5 storm approaches. Let us keep the people of Jamaica in our thoughts and pray for their safety as they face this terrible storm. In more hopeful news, East Timor has joined ASEAN, marking the organization's first expansion since the 1990s. Prime Minister Gusmao called it a dream realized for his nation. What joy to see a community welcome a new member with open arms, just as we should welcome everyone to our table of fellowship. Elsewhere in Europe, Lithuania has closed its Vilnius airport and Belarus border crossings after objects, likely helium balloons, entered its airspace, while in Spain, Catalonia's regional party Junts has agreed to withdraw support from the national government, complicating its ability to pass legislation. Slovakia's Prime Minister Fico has announced his country will not participate in European Union programs financing military aid for Ukraine, standing apart from many EU nations in his approach to the conflict with Russia. On a different note, a fascinating report shows how America's workforce has transformed over nearly 250 years, from a scattered collection of farmers and laborers to today's diverse workforce of more than 150 million people. From humble beginnings with the 13 colonies, generating just $164 million in 1774, we've grown into the vibrant tapestry of workers we see today. In Lebanon, UN peacekeepers shot down an Israeli drone, though there are conflicting accounts about the circumstances as tensions remain high in the region. Meanwhile, Russia has found ways to export sanctioned Arctic gas to China despite U.S. sanctions aimed at leaving the project dead in the water. And finally, Switzerland is spending millions revamping its vast network of bunkers, including remarkable facilities like the 7-story underground Urania shelter in Zurich that can accommodate 11,000 people in an emergency. As we reflect on these stories, my friends, let us remember that even in challenging times, we can choose kindness over conflict, generosity over greed, and hope over despair. Whether celebrating peace initiatives in Turkey or worrying about those in the path of Hurricane Melissa, we're all connected in this beautiful world. This is Santa Claus, wishing you peace and goodwill on this October evening.